everyone, welcome back to the Movie Buddy. I'm your host Josh Blumenkrantz, and I was at CinemaCon this week, and Sony Pictures had one of the biggest, most stacked presentations of the entire event on the evening of day one. So let's get into everything what they showed. So one of the biggest things that they showed was Spider-Man Brand New Day, kicking it off with a bang. And they said that this is the biggest Spider-Man movie that they've made so far, but also something that feels completely different from what they've done in the past. It's more emotional, it's more grounded, and Peter Parker is clearly in much more grown-up stage of his life. And Tom Holland, he wasn't there in person. He appeared virtually, but they showed us a full clip. So let's set up the clip, okay? Peter sees Ned, and Ned doesn't remember who he is. It's very sad for Peter. So, what does he do? He follows Ned back to his apartment where he lives, which I think he's rooming with MJ. So, yeah, they go there, and then Ned spots him because Peter's looking at his wall of Spider-Man articles, news stuff, drawings, all of this stuff. He's like obsessed with Spider-Man, and Ned explains why. It's because Spider-Man saved him once, and he wants to properly thank him. Not like expose him to the world, but just properly thank him, which is sweet. And even created an app to track Spider-Man, which is really cool. And he kind of narrowed it down to between Martin Starr's character and Tony Ravioli's character. So like he is way off with who Peter Parker and Spider-Man really is, but that's hilarious. And then MJ comes in. Zendaya, MJ, she comes in. He's like, who's this guy? And then he's like, Peter Parker, he has a bouquet of flowers for them, and he gives it to MJ. He's like, a housewarming gift. And she's like, oh, you're a friendly neighbor. So that's hilarious. He still loves her, but like, again, she doesn't remember who he is, so that really sucks. So this is kind of like the Spider-Man 2 of this like franchise now. Peter's just feeling sad. He wants to get his friends back. He's just like, life is just kicking him in the ass. And on top of that, it gets worse when MJ's boyfriend comes in and kisses her, and Peter's just really bummed out about it. So yeah, that's like the clip that they showed us. Then they showed us like stuff from the trailer that we've seen already, like you can find it online. And then the way that trailer ends is a clip of Peter. He's getting ready to fight, but before he fights, he needs to stretch, and he literally states that I need to stretch. I'm not a high school kid anymore. So he's getting older. He's getting wiser, hopefully, and he's got to take these guys down and ultimately get his friends and the love of his life back. But yeah, that is Spider-Man Brand New Day. While we're on the topic of Spider-Man, they showed us another Spider-Man film, and it's one that everyone has been anticipating for years now, which is crazy because like we had that cliffhanger in Across the Spider-Verse, and we've been waiting for it, and now it's finally almost sort of here. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. They showed us early footage of Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and the directors, Phil Lord, Chris Miller, all the directors came out and said that there are no rules with this one, and they're pushing things even further than before. The footage picks up right off where Across the Spider-Verse left off. Miles is stuck. He's trying to escape, and he is rebuilding relationships, figuring out his own path. He's with the Prowler, and then they have this kind of running gag between like how you say Morales is Spanish. So yeah, eventually he uses his like shocking powers to like get out. His body's glitching because he doesn't like to be in that universe. He's got to get back to his own universe. So that was really cool to see. Visually, this movie looks amazing. Like all the animation, the effects, it's gonna be really, really killer. I'm like super hyped for this. I've been waiting like for a long time. And we see all the characters that we've seen from the other films: Spider-Monk, Spider-Pig, and Peter Parker with his baby. He's like, hold my baby. So all the familiar characters that we know and love are back. Even a moment where Miles says to the Prowler, like, I have to go and save my dad or he's gonna die, like in I think 24 hours, something like that. And he's like, how do you know your dad's gonna die? So like, this is like, he's on a time crunch. Like he has to go back and save his father, and like I really hope that he does, because I don't want his dad to die. I just like it's like the heart of the movies, like like he's gotta save the people that he cares about. So like there's a lot at stake. Okay, everyone, this is one of my most anticipated films from the entire presentation, and it was The Social Reckoning, the sequel to The Social Network. Can you believe it? What a world. And then Aaron Sorkin, he wrote and directed it, and he actually came out to introduce it, which was really awesome. It stars Mikey Madison, Jeremy Allen White, and Jeremy Strong as Mark Zuckerberg. Yep, he's an older Mark Zuckerberg, very different, but also a little similar, doing his own thing. But yeah, the story is based on true events and follows a mid-level engineer who risks everything to expose what's really happening behind Facebook, and that's played by Mikey Madison. And we saw the full trailer. She looks incredible. You know Mikey Madison from Menorah. She just won an Oscar, and her performance feels really raw and emotional. You know, she's like spearlining this thing. She doesn't want to hurt Facebook. She's trying to like help it by exposing all of these secrets. And then Jeremy Strong, who is not just doing an impersonation of Mark Zuckerberg, he's doing his own version of the character, and that is really powerful in itself. It's very towering. I was like, holy shit, this is like Kendall Roy to the max and then some. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to see this movie. It's so freaking epic. So epic! This feels like a major awards contender already. If it goes well, I think Mikey Madison is in for actress already. I'm already calling that. Jeremy Strong, maybe if the performance is executed properly. Time will tell. I don't think Jeremy Allen White's getting in unless his character serves a bigger purpose. He's like barely in this teaser trailer that they kind of showed us. Yeah, but that's really all I have to think or say about The Social Reckoning. I'm very excited for it, and it's coming out in, I think, October. So yeah, let's go. They also showed Klara and Son, directed by Taika Waititi. It's about an artificial friend who's chosen by a young girl and explores themes of connection and humanity. The footage looks really vibrant and colorful. I think they filmed this film like years ago because like everyone looks so different. It has a great cast of Jenna Ortega, Amy Adams, Natasha Lyonne, Hunter Schafer. This feels like a more emotional, character-driven story, and I'm very curious about it. Also announced that The Legend of Zelda has wrapped filming. It's directed by Wes Ball and comes out May 2027. This is obviously a huge IP, so the expectations are very high. They showed us no footage or photos or anything, but yeah, Legend of Zelda coming out very soon. And then other projects and quick hits. They also showed Insidious, Out of the Further. Yeah, Out of the Further. With demons crossing to the real world. Yeah, this was a pretty crazy one. Like, mouths opening, like, demons coming in, women going into couches, and then demons coming out. It was freaking crazy and scary. Like, but yeah, I'll probably go watch it. And then there was a big anime presence with Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Like, there's just, like, so many titles they were throwing at us left and right. And then they announced The Nightingale, with Dakota and Elle Fanning set during World War II. They showed us footage of them talking how they just started filming. It's very exciting. It's the first time that they've ever acted together before, so we love the Fanning sisters, so I'm really pumped for that. And then there's a film called Grand Gear, produced by J.J. Abrams and directed by the filmmaker behind Godzilla -1. So yeah, that looks really cool. There was no footage at all, but like the premise was interesting. And then they also introduced The Breadwinner, which it was a family comedy with Nate Bargatze, I believe. I don't know how you say his name. And Mandy Moore, about a dad trying to take care of his kids and struggling to do it while his wife is away. So it's a fun family comedy. They actually opened the presentation with that. So yeah, I'm kind of backtracking here, but it's okay. Like, you know, these are like fun projects, but like, come on, let's get to the real nitty-gritty stuff, right? Also announced a new Resident Evil film directed by Zach Krager, who came out to talk about it. He just did Weapons. He got Amy Madigan an Oscar. Let's go, Zach. And he said this version is going to stay very true to the spirit of the games. No jumping timelines, no complicated storytelling like his other films, just a straight survival horror experience where a character goes from point A to point B. And we saw a sneak peek with Austin Abrams, who also was in Weapons, and he's like running through obstacles. He's calling someone, saying that he loves them. It felt very intense, very grounded. And I think this is going to be a really fun one, and I'm excited to see what Zach does with this whole franchise. And to close out Sony Pictures presentation, they brought out Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Dwayne Johnson for Jumanji, which the title was revealed to be Jumanji Open World. They were joking around with each other. The energy in the room was great. You know, like cursing back and forth. It was so funny. Karen Gillan could not be there. I guess she's filming or something, but it's okay. But yeah, this is being described as the biggest film in the franchise, and it flips the concept. The game comes into the real world, as they kind of hinted at in the last one. But they do still go back into the game as well. And we saw a sneak peek, and everyone is back, including Danny DeVito. The cast is playing multiple characters in this film. Each character is playing 3 characters, which is super fun. Like Dwayne Johnson, he's Spanish. He's also like other characters as well. Like, it was very funny and crazy, and like it's fun to like kind of keep track of like who's who. Body swapping, so much fun. There's also a tribute to Robin Williams, which is apparently in every scene, includes an Easter egg tied to the original films. Half the dice is from the original film, so that was very sweet. Overall, this film is a tribute to Robin Williams, which is awesome. But yeah, it looks like a fun, crowd-pleasing family movie, and it comes out this Christmas. So yeah, Jumanji Open World. Yeah, baby. Overall, Sony had one of the biggest and most well-rounded presentations of CinemaCon, from massive Spider-Man, reveals to prestige films like The Social Reckoning to big franchise entertainment like Jumanji, and they really covered everything. But yeah, this was day one of CinemaCon, and there's more to come. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the channel. I greatly appreciate your feedback and your support. And remember, when you go to the movies, bring your buddy and talk about movies. Until next time, bye.